my card share video for the Hero Arts My Monthly Hero January 2019 kit. Let's go ahead and go through everything that came in the kit, and then I'll show you what I have left and what I made with the stuff from the kit. So the big thing that we have that came to us this month was this very large stamp set. And I always do this. Let me get something white to put behind it so that you can see it a little bit better. I'm never prepared for this part and I don't know why. Anyway, so this is a very large 6x8 stamp set. I saw a lot of possibility with this. Now, if you have been paying attention to any of my other videos, I've pretty much long been done with most of my Valentine's projects, except for a couple of things that are still coming out for like family and friends. But so when I looked at this stamp set, I didn't see Valentine. I saw tons of other possibilities with this one, including spring. And my favorite part about this stamp set is this very large shop front stamp here. These are little extra stamps that just happen to be inside here to save space. They're not actually part of this large stamp. But you get this shop front here with a big window that comes with a coordinating die that cuts out the whole shop, and then it comes with a separate die, a rectangular die that you can cut out the window here as well. I saw a ton of possibility with this because it's a very generic looking shop front, so I went crazy. And I didn't do a lot of Valentine's stuff. I do have a couple of things to show you, but you'll see what I did with this shop front. But this was my favorite part here. And then of course the bicycle is really cute. These balloons are nice, and this would work for your birthdays and things, and a couple of different buildable sentiments in here. Wishing you a lovely day, wishing you a beautiful day, you're beautiful, you're lovely, be mine, happy Valentine's Day, I love you. So not only do the sentiments work for Valentine's Day, but they could work for just your anniversary cards, birthday cards, just because, anything. And then of course you have a couple of different things that you could use for vases for these great flower images. I'm not a big flower person, so I don't really know what these flowers are supposed to be, what they're trying to be. I think those might be tulips, and I think these might be roses, but other than that, I'm kind of pretty much out of the flower game. But so I just kind of colored them, you know, however I wanted to color them. But these great little receptacles that you could use to set up to hold your flowers as well. I had a blast with that, and I think that this is definitely going to be something that's going to be in my stash for a long time. Because I have a lot of other ideas that I didn't even get a chance to get to yet. So anyway, so that is the stamp set. And of course it comes with the coordinating dies. And here's that large shop die that I was telling you about. And then the die for the window. And I kept those together here so that I wouldn't sort of misplace them. You've got the bicycle die here. And this other, and then of course all the little, you know, dies that coordinate with the different images. And this one right here is pretty interesting. This is a large die that cuts the shape of like one of those chalkboards that would hang out on a sidewalk for a cafe or a bookshop or something. You know, somebody would write a message on the chalkboard and leave it on the street. And I had a lot of fun with this, and it took me a little bit to kind of figure out what I wanted to do with this, and you'll see in a little bit what I did with it. And it comes with this separate rectangular die here that you can use to trim a chalkboard that you can adhere right to the front of the actual chalkboard holder. So I had a blast with that. And then I was thinking later too that it never hurts to just have in your stash a couple of different sizes of rectangle dies on hand if you need them. So anyway, so that is the stamp set and the die set. Really generous with the die sets in my opinion this month, especially with that whole completely unexpected separate chalkboard die set. I'm going to continue to call it a chalkboard die set. Okay, so there's that came in the kit. You also got, oh, they're calling it, I'm looking at the website over here, they're calling it an easel die with the inner board cut, is what this is called. So when you hear me say chalkboard die, I'm actually talking about the easel board die. I live in my own little world and I call things what I want to call them. You got in the kit, you got 10 vellum envelopes, and these are really nice quality envelopes. I kind of looked at them a little bit further. I did do an unboxing video for this kit, and I'll link that down below if you're interested. You can take a look at the unboxing. I have a bunch of them left, but they're earmarked for another project, and I will get to that. you get this tube of pink glimmer lacquer, which I'm guessing is akin to like Nuvo drops. I didn't actually end up using this because I didn't do any drops at all on any of my projects that I have to show. And if I did, I would probably use just my Nuvo drops to keep this one brand new and unused. I'm probably going to save this for a future giveaway because I don't see me using this. I have like all the different, you know, pink Nuvo drops. I have all the colors. So I'll probably save that for a giveaway. You got 10 5.5 by 8.5 sheets of cardstock. These are just half size sheets of an 8.5 by 11 paper. You got some in this great pink color. You got some in this red color. I did use, I don't want to say all of the cardstock, but I did use some of the cardstock here that you'll see in just a second. And this is what I have left. These are really pretty colors. I'm just going to kind of add these to my stash and they'll get used. I kind of went in a different direction for a lot of my cards, which you'll see in just a second. So let me show you the traditional kind of thing that I did first, just because it's right here with the easel die. My chalkboard die, how I played with that is I made a couple of chalkboard shaped cards. And these are, I'm kind of seeing them as Valentine's-y shaped cards. And how I did it was I made a little hinge on the back of each card so that they would open up and I could write my message on the inside. Now I made one for my sisters and then one for my best friend. And then a spare. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the spare, but so just a little fun thing to send for them. And how I did it was I used the easel die, the chalkboard die, the big main chalkboard die, and I cut it twice. And then I took out my scoreboard, and on one of them I scored just the top of the paper, and then I bent it back and forth, and I really pressed it down with my bone folder so that it would work both ways pretty easily. And then I took some score tape and ran it along the top, and I just pressed the two sides together. So they're joined at the top here, and then it just opens pretty easily. So that's how I built it. I can't take credit for that idea. I've seen that technique used a lot on different shaped cards, so that's certainly not that's certainly not a concept that I've invented, but it's probably one of the first times that I've actually done it because I just thought it was really cute. And I didn't want to put these on a card. I wanted these to be the card. And as you can see, where did I put those envelopes? They're a little bit smaller than an A2, but that's okay. You can still use the same envelopes. Anyway, so we have a You're Beautiful here, and then I used that second die, what do they call that? The inner board cut to make my little chalkboards. Then I just used plain Recollections black cardstock, and this is the pink and red cardstock that you saw just a moment ago from the kit. All of these images, I stamped them out multiple times on some Bristol Smooth cardstock, and then I spent a couple of nights here and there just watercoloring them with my Tombow markers, and then I die cut them until I had a huge pile of die cuts, and then I used them for various projects. And then when I was putting these cards together, I had a few little die cuts left over that I thought would make it look pretty. So. And this one I put a couple of sequins on here just because I used sequins in another project and I had them just sitting on my desk and I was too lazy to put them away and I didn't want to throw them away. So I was like, you know what, you're going on the card. And then we have Wishing You a Wonderful Day. And then I Love You with the bicycle, and I heat embossed those balloons, that balloon stamp on there because it's one I actually meant to stamp this one out in color and I forgot. So when I was going through and actually assembling the card, I was like, you know what, I thought that would be cool. And something that I think that I meant to do and I didn't do, and I still might actually go back and do it, was I might want to just watercolor, maybe with a little Distress Oxide, just to put a little color in there. This black is not it's not a real good watercoloring on paper though, so I may just skip it, I don't know, but I think that was probably my intention. Or maybe take some colored pencil and color in over there just to give it a little bit more color. And then this Happy Valentine's Day here. And I did use my my embossing bag, but I still kind of made a mess with my white embossing powder. I heat embossed all these things on, and I thought that looked kind of cool though. It kind of looked like a chalkboard, right, with a little bit of chalk here and there. So I kind of left it there without peeling it off, and I'm not too stressed about it. So I made these cards, again, using that Hero Arts paper, using that die, which was a lot of fun. And my own little swinging hinge shaped card here, which was actually pretty easy. All right, so the next part requires a story. It requires some explanation. So if you're new to this channel, I try to do projects that can involve a lot of things for my stash, and I try to bring things in, and I'll mix brands and stamp sets, and this was no exception. So I already mentioned that I saw this shop front and I thought that it had a lot of potential. So my brain, when I saw this, immediately went to different stamp sets that I have that could kind of work to make scenes involving shops or restaurants or stuff. So I pulled out a couple, and a caveat, I made a ton of these cards, and they're all going to be shaker cards, and I'm going to show you they're all shaker cards. So a couple of things. I'm trying to use up all of my sequins. I have way too many, so 2019 is going to be the year that I use up all of my sequins, like every last sequin. So I made a huge pile of shaker cards. I used a ton of sequins, just made a huge mess. This process took days and days and days. It was great. It was fabulous. And number two is that I have already sent out most of the cards that I made, but I did save one of most each design that I did. So I did actually, I made multiples basically of these cards that I'm going to show you. Oh, and here's the other thing. So the cards that I'm going to show you are like the ones that I don't think came out the best. I know that sounds terrible, but the ones that I thought came out the best are the ones that I mailed to the recipients because I wanted them to look perfect. So the ones that you're seeing are kind of like my prototype cards. So there might be little errors or whatever on them. So anyway, so keeping in mind that I'm kind of looking, well, actually, let me show you the first one. The first one I decided to make because this was a floral shop thing. I decided that I would do one card in kind of that theme here. So I have this shaker card here. And another interesting thing to note on all of these cards is that I stenciled in and inked all the different backgrounds to build these scenes, which was another like day-long project. It was just something that I wanted to do, something a little bit fun. Sure, I could have paper pieced a background or something. I could have used pattern paper or whatever, but I really wanted to build a little scene. So each of the backgrounds is a little bit different, so I'll kind of tell you about that too. Anyway, so here we have the little flower shop that I did with the shaker, and I thought that I would have a little bit of fun with the acetate that I used on the windows, and that I would put some stuff on the inside on the back so that it gave it a little bit of dimension. Like these two hanging plants are inside of the store and they're somewhat more away from the window, and this one is hanging outside of the window. So that's just kind of the way that I saw it. And I used so much foam tape that now I need to buy more. Where is it? I only have a tiny little bit left. This is my last roll, and this is all I have left. So I definitely need to get a Amazon order in or something. I wanted to get one of those huge, like $30 rolls of the Scotch foam tape. I think I might invest in one of those. I don't know where I'm going to put it, but I think I might invest in one of those. Anyway, and I used a bunch of these really pretty sort of translucent iridescent sequins from my stash, and this nice green color that I thought matched the coloring for the little shop. And that's another thing about all these shops. I did all of the coloring. They're all colored and watercolored on Bristol paper, just like the images for these ones here. It's my favorite method of coloring these days. And I die cut everything. And then I went back later and I built every scene a little shop. I had no idea what to color. I had serious like colors block. I had no idea what to color anything. So all of the coloring is just gonna look different because I played and I experimented with different color themes. Anyway, I just wanted to point that out. So this background, I don't know if you can see, because the scene kind of covers up a bit of it, and that was another mistake that I made. When I drew out my designs and I planned my my cards and building these scenes, I didn't realize how tall this stamp actually was. Let me get the thing here. For some reason I thought it was a bit smaller, so this stamp is about 4.5 inches tall, which is too tall already for the short side of a regular A2 card. So when I designed it in my head, I designed top folding cards that went this way, but it doesn't fit. So when I actually went to color and cut these out and put them on the cards, I was like, oh crap, I've basically got to rethink every background that I have made and kind of adjust it. And I actually, a couple of them I had to redo because just the orientation was completely off. That was completely my bad, so start measuring things before you plan your card. Anyway, so this background I made using Distress Oxide inks, and I used Hickory Smoke and Black Soot Distress Oxide ink and maybe a touch of stained walnut or walnut stain in there. I kind of wanted it to look like a stone wall, like this shop was in a nice old stone building, you know, like some sort of Italian flower shop or whatever. And then I took, just to give it a little bit of fun dimension, I took my Delicata silver and gold inks and I smooshed them down on my craft mat here, and I just put a little water in them, and then I just flicked it right on just to kind of give it a little bit of shimmer, a little bit of interest, like the mica picking up on the stones in the back. And that's how I did those cards. And now, so that was using this stamp set, and then, oh, I didn't want to sully the outside with a sentiment, so I stamped it on the inside, which is actually pretty rare for me. I usually put my sentiments on the outside, but I have Wishing You a Lovely Day that I stamped on the inside. Okay, so the next shop that I decided to do was kind of like a farmer's market type thing. I have some sequins that are stuck to my my foam tape on the inside. Ugh. Okay, pretend you didn't see that, and this is perfect. And I used, to do this little shop here, I used the Avery Elle fruit stand stamp set. This is a recent acquisition for me. You've probably seen me in a couple of videos kind of showing it off because I was pretty excited. I had to buy the stamps and the dies separately, and it was like a big thing. Anyway, so this is what I used to make my little fruit stand, my little produce stand cards. These are probably my favorite ones, or maybe my second favorite ones. I'm not sure. But I did have a lot of fun making these. And this background I stenciled with a Hero Art stencil that's sort of like it's a scene that's just a path going through the woods. So I stenciled on some grass in the sky, and then of course I stenciled on the trees and like this little path leading up to this little stand just in a park or something, maybe, where you can buy your produce. So that was this style card that I did, and I don't think I put anything on the inside. I think I just left the shop banner. I used Life is Sweet from this set on the outside here. So I thought that would be a great kind of spring to summer card coming up. And next we have a really fun card, and I just realized, oh, here it is. Something else I wanted to show you while I'm showing you this card. This card here is also another shaker card, and I'm trying to adjust my little sequin pieces. I probably could have prepared a little bit better, but I didn't. So this card here is kind of like a old-fashioned soda shop thing I was thinking in my head, and I thought it would be really fun. And the stamp set that I used to go along with this shop front is Sock Hop from Sunny Studio. And I didn't use a ton of images from this set. This is one of the ones when I had to redo the background just because the orientation was off. I had done a background for this orientation, not this orientation. So I think by the time I got to this one, I was actually pretty irritated, and I had to put it aside for the night because I was really mad at myself for making that mistake. And anyway, so I didn't get as involved as I had originally planned with this particular design. So I used the jukeboxes and the little ice cream sodas, and then of course the kitty and the doggy. Look at the doggy's wearing a little skirt. How cute is that? Anyway, so, and kind of the same thing that I did with the first card there, kind of just working with a little bit with the perspective and using the window here, is that the jukebox and the little kitty are kind of in the back of the room and not up at the window. And then I have my little doggy out here holding her ice cream soda. And then for the shaker bits, for the sequins in here, I actually use, I don't know if you can see in here because it's a jukebox. I thought this was perfect. I have a sequin mix in here that has large black and silver music note pieces, and that sequin mix that I've had in my stash is from Kindred Stamps, and I forget the name of the sequin mix, but it is they sell it. They sell this mix from Kindred Stamps. And I probably got enough stuff for a good maybe 2 more cards in here. And I didn't find them until it was too late, and I didn't use them in any of the other cards with this, using this style. So, and I'm seriously still so bummed about this background that I am going to probably not make anymore. of that background. So for this background, I just used a brick stencil, I'm sorry, not stamp, that I had in my stash. I inked it darkly in 2 different colors of brown, and then I came in, put the stencil on top of it, and then I came in with my fired brick, and I smooshed my my ink blender with the fire brick Distress Oxide ink there to get the different variations in the red color here for the brick. But again, I don't want to talk about it. I'm still upset. And I'm also upset that I found these too late, that it was too late to use up the rest of them in some of the other cards. Yeah. Sometimes a project is cursed, and I think out of all of them, this is probably the one that just, it was not going my way. So the last one that I have to show you is probably my next favorite, or maybe it's my favorite, I'm not sure. So this one was inspired, actually I'll show you the stamp set that I used. I used the From My Favorite Things, the Sushi Date set, and of course I was kind of channeling a Chinese restaurant, but I was channeling a very specific Chinese restaurant when I did this one. My husband and I, when we were first dating and then living together, and actually we got married in Manchester, New Hampshire, which is the biggest city that we have here in our little state. And there used to be, on 2nd Street, there used to be, I think there's another one there now, but it's not the same one, a absolutely delicious Chinese restaurant that we used to love to go to, and they had the most amazing orange chicken. I love orange chicken. I can't eat anything spicy, and they would make it very not spicy for me. And they also offered a non-fried version of their orange chicken, and I love fried food, but it does not agree with me at all. So I used to order their just not fried, their pan-seared orange chicken, and they used to serve it with white rice and like steamed snow peas, and it was just amazing. It was like my favorite food ever, and Rod would take me there very often. And they had great scorpion bowls, and just loved it. And then we got married, and then we moved away because he got transferred away, and then like by the next time we went to visit, the restaurant was gone. So the restaurant is no longer there, but it was this big giant red building, and it had like fake inlaid gold details everywhere outside the building. It had a big fake gold roof. So that was kind of what I was channeling when I was making this card in particular. And I have some gold and silver sequins in there. And I played with the perspective again on this one. We have some elements like the lanterns on the scene that I adhered directly to the card. And then like this little panda and the tray of food are actually adhered to the backside of the acetate. And I didn't obviously do a very good job on this card. And this is why this one didn't make the cut for getting shipped out, because you can see that I have like a little sequin there that is in front of instead of behind my scene. Anyway, it's not that big of a deal. I'm sure I'll still use the card. So yeah, this was channeling that restaurant. And then of course for the background, and I know you can't see it again because I originally designed the card from the other orientation. The whole scene that I had planned got messed up, but I have a like cityscape stenciled on here, and a dark sky and a moon and some clouds, which I know you can't see very well, so I'm a little bit bummed about that. But anyway, and I think I already showed you the stamp set that I used with that. It's really cute. I like it. So this is, I don't even remember the name of the restaurant, but this is that Chinese restaurant that hubby and I used to adore when we were younger. Oh, and then I stamped on the inside on this one too. So happy for you. I think I used the wasabi with you on another card too. And that is pretty much what I have left to show you from my Hero Arts January 2019 kit. This kit is sold out, but I'm going to link it down below anyway in case you want to take a look at it. And if you want to look at any of the add-ons that came with it this month. I didn't do any add-ons because I'm saving my money for Lawn Fawn. Oh, one more thing I want to show you. I was talking a little bit. Oh, I'm sorry. The kit also came with, at the beginning, I should have showed you, came with some of these stickers here, and I've already used one of them. I'm going to keep them right on my desk, and I'm just going to put them on my mail, on my letters. I'm going to use them. Things don't do you any good if you hoard them and don't use them, so I'm going to keep those right on my desk and use them. And I did use a couple of my envelopes. I've been experimenting a little bit, and I made some envelopes for my husband and my daughter for their Valentines, which I'm still working on, so I don't have anything to show you guys for that. But I have the vellum envelopes here, really nice. This is the one that I ripped in my my unboxing video, I ripped it a little bit just to see how strong it was. It's strong, but it's not that strong. So I figured, whatever, this will be a sacrificial one for my husband. So I've been playing with decorating these, and I have a bunch of really fun ribbons. My ribbon collection has been growing, and actually just recently my friend Leanne sent me this ribbon here, so I can add that to my stash. So I thought that I would play a little bit with adhering ribbon and using ribbon to decorate these envelopes. So this is 5 different pieces of fun ribbon, and I put score tape on the back of them and pressed them into the envelope and then flipped it over and just trimmed off the excess. You can kind of see my tape lines on the inside. But I thought that would be really fun. I don't believe that I would be comfortable mailing something in a vellum envelope anyway, just because everybody can see what's inside. And I certainly would not mail an envelope with actual ribbon as a like glued to the outside of it or taped to the outside of it. I would if it was washi tape, but this is actual ribbon. So these are not intended for anything to mail. Like I said, just one for my husband, one for my daughter when I make their Valentines, to put them in there. So that is more officially everything that I've been working with this kit. I'll have links and stuff down below. Let me know if you have any questions on a particular product or technique or whatnot. I do appreciate you sticking around through this long and rambly video. I tend to get more long and rambly the more I have to explain myself. And I feel probably what I did with this kit is a little weird and probably won't be appreciated by a lot of people. So anyway, thanks very much. You take care and have a great weekend. Bye!